Hey there, thanks for joining me again. This is Lokazi casting MLG Columbus lower bracket round 10 from replays. We have MC versus Losira here. MC lost the first game. Losira took it with lots of Baneling drops out of Overlords while pushing the main army, trying to get good surrounds with Zerglings and just dropping Banelings on that big force of MC there on Shakura's Plateau. Here in game 2, it is MLG Metalopolis. And in the south position, the 6 o'clock, is oGsMC, spawning as the blue Protoss. And in the north, 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock position, we have IMLosira, spawning as the red Zerg, and binding all of his buildings to, or his one building to all of his keys. Except for an Overlord, that's one. It's important. MC, on the other hand, has pylons bound. It's interesting. And his main building is not bound, but a pylon is bound twice. So, I don't really know how that works. I don't know if he like spacebars back every time, or what he does. That's crazy. Oh, there we go. Now the Nexus is on 9 and 0. Losira droning up. He is at 13 right now. 14. It's going to expand in a second. MC is about to find him. And it does not look like he's going to be able to expand. And he just scoots on over. It looks like he's going to take maybe the third. No, coming back and try and... But MC is on it. If you actually attack the probe when the player is not paying attention, it'll just kind of poke it away. If it's not on hold command or anything like that. And Losira does drop a spawning pool because there's no way he's going to get that expansion down. Extractor also going down for Losira. Meantime, MC has picked up his assimilator, dropping his second pylon, has his gateway up, and is about to drop his there it goes, cybernetics core down on the field. And MC is a little bit ahead in probes. He is about to be at 19 compared to the 15 of Losira. Spawning pool finishing up there, more drones being produced. I assume a queen will be coming along here once he gets up to 150 minerals. There's the queen starting up there. MC in the meantime just cruising along with his probes. He is at 2 gases, so some type of attack play, maybe like blink stalkers, or I'm not sure what he's going to be moving into. He likes his expansions though, so we will have to see what he decides to go. MC retreating his badly damaged probe back across the map. He is of course safe from Zergling run by currently. Right when I say that, he moves out of Zeal. And he is now about to expand down to the bottom location as a 1-gate fast expand. Zergling's feed is about half done. Of course, the drones were pulled off of the gas. 3 now moved back onto the gas. And there's 1 queen down on the field, the second one about to finish. And Losira is just continuing to drone here. And that was an interesting hold command out of Losira, losing 2 Zerglings unnecessarily. Getting bubble beamed to death. Gateway being dropped there. So MC now has a partial wall in. He drops like a pylon right here. And like 2 buildings right here, it's a full wall in. So we'll see where his next building placement is to SimCity this up, so Zerglings can't run by. Twilight Council dropped in this location right here, and this is of course the hidden tech location on Metalopolis, because, or Zerg, because the Overlords would have to drift all the way across here to be able to see it, or all the way from over here. And generally in that time you can get these slow sentry bubble beams over there in time to pick that off. Losira just catching up in drones now. Looks like he's going to move out and maybe take his third. Still droning pretty hard. Bunch of Zerglings I'm sorry, just finished running really hard. Bunch of Zerglings hitting the field now. And Zergling Roach is coming across to pressure MC. Try and burn off a bunch of force fields, see what type of damage can be done. And it might be pretty effective. This back area is not walled in, so every time a force field drops, he can try a different avenue and bait another force field. Zerglings just arriving, up to 6 sentries, 2 zeals. And MC is positioning his sentries to be able to block off as much as possible. Roach is engaging in the northern position there, taking out that pylon. New force field going down, those Zerglings cannot get in. These 2 force fields in the south, about there they go. Finished off. 3 force fields dropped again. Looks like he has enough energy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 more force fields. Roach is just kind of drifting towards the sentries. Zergling's finally getting in. Oh, nope, blocked again. A few of them are in, and they're taking apart the sentries. Dark Templar are being spawned out on the field. And this is going to put an end to this aggression eventually. But in the meantime, these Zerglings pick off 2 more sentries. These 2 roaches here at the top are picking off another. There they go. They pick off 2 stalkers. And then this roach is just going to try and pick off some probes before it dies. And I don't think it's going to be successful, as this Dark Templar kills it in 3 hits. So pretty good hold there out of MC, building a cannon, rewalling with a more powerful building there, a gateway with more HP. MC at 59 with 42 workers, and MLG at 63 with 39 workers. Just produced a few units there. There they go, Zerglings spawning out on the field. All in all, very good hold there by MC. Really close though. Seems like whatever tech building MC is actually going for is at that exact moment going to save him against these Ling Zergling all-ins. Well, not all-in, I'm sorry. Ling Zergling pressures. Whether it be the Void Rays or now the Dark Templar is saving him. Now, it is a good idea to pressure like this as the Zerg player, because he burned all the energy off those sentries and then killed them. So that way they're not sticking around later and they have to be rebuilt for a really high gas cost, as opposed to losing a bunch of Zerglings and like a few roaches. He lost like, I think 8 roaches, which is 200 gas compared to killing off at least 6 sentries if more weren't warped in during the fight. Or the stalkers that did die as well. So about like 800 gas being lost there for the Protoss player MC, while MLG losing just pretty much minerals, which very reasonable trade. Some Zerglings trying to pick off a stalker there. Now MC trying to track down those Zerglings. Come back here, you Muscly rabbits, and looks like he's going to expand to his 3rd here in just a moment. MLG has picked up his 3rd, has saturated it pretty well, up to 70 drones, and is just massing Ling Roach. +1 range damage going out, Roach speed going down, macro hatch finished up at the secondary there. So 4 bases or 4 hatcheries worth of production. Should be a 4th queen coming along, I would imagine relatively soon. 2 spine crawlers dropped to the top of the ramp here on the left hand side for MLG to try and help defend against pushes coming in from that direction. MC building up his sentry count a little bit, dropped 2 more out on the field. And now his Blink Stalkers are going to make their way around the map, trying to see what damage they can cause. There's actually a pretty good amount of Overlords left out in the middle of the field, which this Dark Templar does realize, and it's going to blink forward and pick off this Overseer Cocoon. There he goes. And a few Overlords for free. MLG already maxed on his number of Overlords though, with more to spare. He just lost 4 supply worth of Overlords, and he's still at 200 as his max supply. So he's, while I'm sure he's not happy about losing it, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world for him. And oGsMC kind of likes this Blinkstalker DT. He used it at the end of his game versus Idra, the end of game 4 versus Idra. And Nidus Worm being loaded up here, going in the back of MC's base, in this fog area in the back. And now unloading. MC somehow, realizing it because he heard the scream, so he knows they're out somewhere, and this is easily the most likely location. Nidus Worm spitting out all of these Zerglings. And that's it. Looks like it's just going to spit out Zerglings. In the meantime, Losira pushing on the third of MC with Roach Zergling. The wall is now open. There are Dark Templar hacking away here. Blinkstalker is microing back just a little bit there. Looks like MC moving forward and is going to take out the Nidus. In the meantime, he's easily going to be able to hold here at his natural, or at his third, on the ramp to the natural. And he'll just rebuild some pylons over here, and then, yep, there we go, and then he'll be perfectly fine again. An army of creep tumors slowly advancing down the right-hand side of the map. MC at +2 damage already. Losira has no upgrades on his ground, or on his melee. I believe he had +1, yes, +1 missile attacks. He's now getting +1 ground armor. And picking the gold for his 4th, actually, which does look like it's going to get denied right as it finishes. Probably should have just canceled that, but he's going to try and save it. There are too many force fields. And he's going to back up, but this hatchery is still going to die. And then those force fields are going to work double duty and defend against these broodlings coming down and tickling the shields. In the meantime, Losira sweeping down, looks like he's going to go for a counter. Splits his Zerglings, some going towards the natural, some towards the main. The Zerglings at the natural aim for an assimilator, which is kind of interesting. And all the probes pulled here at the third. Overseer here just lets them roast all those Zerglings. We have a Mutaflot coming in here. Kind of an interesting choice when Blinkstalkers were already out on the field. But it does look like there are as many Blinkstalkers as there are Mutalisks. So with some Zerglings in there backing them up, it's actually extremely effective. Second Colossus entering the field here. Zerglings trying to get a run by. And more Stalkers being warped in, and a lot of these Mutalisks dying for Losira, unnecessarily losing so many Mutalisks. There's like 13 Mutalisk losses there for essentially nothing. It's not a good engagement. A little bit of micro miscontrol there by Losira. Range finishing for Protoss for those Colossus. +3 ground weapons going down now. Almost done, getting there. And Losira just creeping his way across the right hand side of the map still. Has not moved forward actually quite a bit with those creep tumors. He has been creeping down the left instead toward his 4th base, which is almost done. 5th base actually. He has the gold, so that's his 5th base. He retook the gold. Dark Templar is out on the field. And these are just going to be sent around to each one of the mineral lines to try and deal as much damage as possible. 2 Colossus are going to drive away those Zerglings pretty easily. And these Mutalisks are just kind of flying around in the air like, hey, I want to kill that Dark Templar who I can't see. There we go. Pinning in the Dark Templar next to the Spore Colony. And Losira flying down, taking out these 2 pylons down here at these warp gates. Might be able to take off this entire warp gate actually. He does have +1, and he has +1/+1 on his ground army, so a little bit upgraded. However, MC has reached +3. Blink's going down, and now the Colossus are here. He actually needs to take the Mutalisk, there he goes, and pick off the 2 Colossus, and then the Zerglings can actually do a lot of damage, but it looks like they actually killed off the Zerglings a little bit faster than he expected or hoped because of that +3 damage out on the field. And just a giant Zergling barbecue with no Colossus at all going down. Blinkstalker is blinking up and chasing off these Mutalisks here. During that middle push, oGsMC did take out the gold base before backing up to defend this Zergling Mutalisk force. Bunch of cannons going down behind the mineral line over here for MC. And this Nexus is actually going to fall. Does get picked off, and the Zerglings are going to head on home. MC now supply capped at 182 versus Losira's 148. And there are only 2 Colossus standing tall, but there is a lot of Stalkers, and they have Blink, so probably micro they can still win fights right now. And here they come across the left hand side of the field, aiming for Losira's 4th. Blink going back, chasing off those Mutalisks so that way the Colossus can't get picked off. And I'm not sure Losira is going to be able to hold this push out of MC. I think he'll be able to take... He doesn't actually aim for the 4th, which is really weird because he knows that it's there. In the meantime, Zerglings run in to the main base of MC, or the expansion. They're going to take out a bunch of stuff. But Losira trying to bait the Protoss army back, but they will not. They will not return. They say, we can take out the 3rd and 4th, actually, of the Zerg, and then he's not going to have any production left. Or money, for that matter. And I think it's only a matter of time before Losira GG's out of here. He's dealing a lot of damage with this counterattack. It's cleaned up almost all the probes. It's down to 14 probes here. But if it comes army to army, I think MC would still win. These 2 Colossus could get dozens of Zergling kills at the same time. So we will have to see what it actually ends up coming down to. Interesting, the larva actually being melted by the Colossus. This Blinkstalker has 1 HP. +1 armor has finished up for MC. Mutalisk just tearing through what's left of MC's base here. Stalkers look like they're going to kill off this lair, pick off the broodlings that come out, and then they're going to head on home. 4 Stalkers being left behind to take out these buildings here. And now MC, I think, thinks he's done enough damage that he can head home. Colossus are moving to the now dead 3rd, and MC is just trying to pick off the rest of the buildings of Losira. It's become a giant base race now. MC's building's fairly hardy though, and the Zergling's only at what, +1? Yeah, +1. The Mutalisks are at +2, so if the buildings are next to each other, they're not that bad. They're not great, but they're not that bad. Losira GG's as he sees the Blinkstalkers return from the front, blinking up. They will be able to clean up all of this. So good game, and he actually lost the hatchery that he was building over here too, to these Colossus. So I don't think he actually had any buildings left. What did he have? Oh, actually I think he was actually killed. Yeah, I don't see any buildings left. So good game out of Losira right before he loses the game, with a base race situation actually going on between the Zerg and Protoss players. We have seen the Mutalisk base race work out for the Zerg player pretty well actually. Dark Force versus, I think it was TT1 in the NASL is one that comes to mind. That was a pretty fun game to watch 50 Mutalisks flock around and kill everything, and if it ever got separated they were easily able to pick off any stray units. But here we had Game 2, MLG Columbus, lower bracket, round 10, between MC and Losira. MC tying up the series, so not getting eliminated. So can he win the next game? Or yes, can he win the next game, or will Losira win it and move back up into the championship bracket for the final game versus the final series versus MMA. Go ahead and subscribe down below on youtube.com/Lokazi. Visit me at my webpage lokazi.blogspot.com, or visit me at justintv.com/Lokazi and follow me there. I will be casting the next game here in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning in.